fights erupting all over the place. He's not going to need to do that. Oh my god, gosh, Fancy's just getting hit over the side with one of his command centers being sniped, and he can't do anything about it. His units are bogged down in a firefight with the Protoss forces in the middle of the map. Guys, man, non-stop action. I'm going to lose my voice trying to commentate on this for the next however long the game lasts for. But, man, it's going to be worth it. Having a look at this, Fancy was forced to lift off his command center at the 12 o'clock, but he's heading back there now. JF heading his forces over the top right corner. He knows where that's where Fancy's expansions are. Fancy is heading around to defend that, just trying to keep his units at the right place at the right time. He's not bothering to head across the map to attack JF's expansions. He knows that he can't. He knows that he can win the war of attrition just in this kind of matchup with more expansions, or even the same amount of expansions, just the way that works. So many factors going down. Just counting up, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... if I've counted those correctly. So 11 factories there for Fancy. He's going to be able to rebuild his 200 supply armies very quickly. Unfortunately, his army is not as mobile as JF's, just having to run away with that lifted off command center and those SCVs. JF getting some potshot SCV kills. And Fancy right now, if you look to the center of the map and the mini-map, it's just moving his army across a strip just above the center of the map. It's just to left and right. If JF attacks his expansion over at the 9 o'clock, he'll move his army that way. But he needs to be sort of siding more to the right, because that's where his big cluster of new expansions are coming up. And that's going to win Fancy the game in the long run if he can maintain these expansions over here. He's got several expansions up and running with SCVs being produced there. So that's really going to be the breadbasket in terms of the money. That's where Fancy's getting his cash from, and attack is being committed to right now. Oh my god, JF's streaming in with zealots and dragoons. He's got a couple of stasis going down. Science vessels just firing off EMPs left and right. Both sides taking a lot of casualties here. A storm going down. JF's down to his last 6 or so tanks, but looks like JF's run out of. He's run out of zealots at this point, so the tank firefight versus the dragoons, tanks are always going to win in even numbers like that, and JF's forced retreat. So that's really good for Fancy there. He's just bought himself more time to harvest some resources from these expansions at the top right. He's got 3 expansions worth running. He's got 11 factories that he can pump units out from, and JF doesn't look like he's retaken that expansion down at the his second natural at the what am I going to call that? 7 or 8 o'clock position. It's the inner expansion there. You guys know what I'm talking about. That expansion has not been retaken, but JF's got plenty of cash himself. And oh my god, Arbiter coming straight into defensive space. He's just flying right over the factory. Recall going down, and plenty of dragoons going off. And a second Arbiter actually stasis the units on the ramp. That's a classic Arbiter trick there, and that's going to be really dangerous. Oh my god, so Fancy cannot move units into his own base at this point, and JF, in a brilliant move there, has actually recalled units straight into his base. He's going straight for the armories, picking off the armory, which is upgrading +3 armor. So Fancy's going to be stuck on 3-2 upgrades for a while. And he's not going to be able to come in. JF's going to be looking to take out more armories. He's going to be able to take out the command center there. He's going to be able to take out factories, depending on how long he gets to do this. And that's a fantastic move there by JF. If I was Fancy, I probably would have been more worried about that. And what he probably should have done is built more turrets in his space to prevent that from happening, because that can be a real game decider. Fancy really had the advantage, in my opinion, before this. And we'll see how this turns out. He might still have the advantages if he can get rid of these units. JF's little army here is being whittled down. He's only got like 4 or 5 more dragoons. These dragoons are pretty much untouchable right now because of the vultures just killing everything before they come in range. That tank's going to get sniped as well. And JF taking this advantage to move your more units around the side of the map, going straight over to the 3 o'clock position, attacking one of Fancy's expansions, going straight for the command center. SCV's trying to repair. Command center goes down, so that's pretty big. Fancy's got some more units in here to actually block this attack and fend them off, but he's lost that command center, so that's lost him some units. In the meantime, Fancy is just streaming units back into his main. That blocks from the ramp's been lifted, the stasis is cleared, and he's able to take out these units now. A single tank coming into siege, and this is going to actually get rid of the dragoons. Luckily, it's fortunate that Fancy's kept a lot of his factories alive. In fact, he's still got 11 there, so they're still going to pump out his units. He's still got the expansions at the top right, so Fancy very much in this game. He's probably still winning, to be honest, despite that really good play there by JF. But JF, don't count him out. He's still got plenty of expansions of his own, plenty of minerals. JF's actually got way more minerals in the bank than Fancy does, because he keeps hitting 200 supply and he's not able to spend them on anything. Fancy being forced to lift off again over at the 9 o'clock. Wow, insane game, guys. This has just been amazing. As you can see, Fancy's having to reroute his rally points back to his base because he wasn't able to leave his base previously, and looks like a bit of a micromanagement area there by JF losing his Arbiter. But when you're in a game like this and having to multitask so heavily, it's not a surprise that he forgot about that Arbiter there. He's got like 3 more being warped in, no doubt. Oh, deep breath. Face is going numb. Just got to take a breather here, guys. There's that Nexus, which has still got full shields, but 1 hit point left. Oh, wait. Wow. Another recall going in Fancy's main. So JF just being relentless here. He's just taken advantage of the fact that Fancy has not built any turrets around. He's had another recall straight smack on top of his factories. It's going to be tough. I'm not sure if Fancy's going to be recalled there, but I think Fancy is maybe built something on the ramp. No, can't see anything there. That would have been cool if he could have stopped JF from actually stasising that up again. Really wants to keep units out of the way, but looks like Fancy is defending this a lot better. He's got units in the way, and he's able to just destroy JF's units as that happens. And wow, in the meantime, Fancy's actually headed some units down to put a counter-offensive in on JF's side of the map. He's got units which are going to be flanked over here though, so he's going to have to watch out. He has actually knocked out a JF expansion. It's the expansion over in the middle of the map down the south side. Let's call that the second expansion for the 3 o'clock main. If you guys understand my terminology in there, if you're not too familiar with StarCraft play, you might not understand what that means, but you'll have to take my word for it and figure that one out. Got more tanks coming in to defend this attack over at the top right, and we've got a few Dragoons trying to take out some SCVs here, but Fancy's units are going to be able to clean this one up. JF's just trying to do as much damage to SCVs as he can before this. He wants to keep us. Oh my god, yeah, that science vessel didn't really get out of position. But here come the tanks and vultures cleaning this one up. SCV is just trying to get out of the way of this attack. And Fancy's going to be able to keep this top corner alive, and that's totally crucial. I mean, he can lose units left and right, but he's got 11 factories, guys. He's got 11 factories, and he's going to be able to replenish his supply. He keeps landing that command center back down at the 9 o'clock. Looks like we've got a High Templar just lost in the middle of Fancy's base doing nothing. JF would have forgotten about that long ago. And JF keeps coming over to take out this 9 o'clock, but Fancy can just keep running away, and attack somewhere else. And as long as Fancy keeps those 3 expansions up at the top right, he's going to be able to stay in this game and eventually win it. Because JF is just not able to. I mean, JF can have as many expansions as he wants, but they're going to run out of minerals eventually, and it's going to be a war of attrition, which is going to be won by the Terran player if JF can't get decisive. And maybe if JF put in some recalls up at the top right, if he attacked the 2 o'clock main, that would really go down quite well, and he could actually take a lead in this game and cut Fancy's supply off. But we've got a large attack coming in now. Fancy's reluctant to siege up his units. He's just micromanaging quite well, taking out the zealots first and then sieging up. Very smart play there by Fancy, and JF is forced to retreat. So Fancy has just got a fantastic a fancy unit count composition, if I may say so, and has totally pushed back JF, and Fancy is just driving straight into JF's territory here. But wow, that's a huge stasis. Another stasis goes off. A whole swathe of units have been totally frozen there by those stasis fields. So that's a fantastic play there by JF. But he's got to worry about this, because if those tanks get unfrozen all at once, they're still going to do a huge amount of damage. And if Fancy can stay with stick his resources alive, reinforcements alive, he's going to be able to protect those tanks once they come out of the field. Wow, this actually looks like a worse situation for JF than it might ordinarily appear, because Fancy has got a whole lot of units which aren't frozen, and they'll be able to actually take out JF's army on their own, and then protect that army from being destroyed after it's unfrozen. But I may have spoken too soon.